Hello, I'm Jay Ward, your movie reviewer. And today we're taking a look at a show, a movie per se, that has created through another YouTuber that I enjoy, one of my favorite funny jokes of all time.
It's a good movie, trying to get out.
Kill it!
Avatar, The Last Airbender. Now, instead of talking about why this movie is bad, because everybody has picked it to death and has talked about its failures as a film overall, let's do something different. Let's talk about the challenges that this movie had to try to overcome, whether it succeeded or whether it failed. I mean, of course, most of these are failures, as we all know, but is there a good movie in this? I mean, we all know the series was fantastic, but it had a lot of difficulties. For one, episode 1 had a huge amount of content to get into. It had a variety of things that it had to talk about and cover just within season 1. I mean, let's start with the establishing things, the things that we obviously needed to go over. We needed to establish Sokka, Katara, and Aang. We had to establish our 3 main characters right out of the gate. Fair enough. From a plot perspective, Aang had to, at the bare minimum, learn waterbending by the end of it. And we also had to establish the villains, or would-be villains, like Zuko and his Uncle Iroh, and the Fire Lord. Although, to be fair, the Fire Lord doesn't really play that big of a deal, and you don't really even need to go to Azula quite yet. You just need to focus on Zuko, Aang, Katara, and Sokka for now. Those characters in particular. I mean, you could, I guess, because it ties into the characters, focus on the Fire Lord as well, but you just don't need to yet. Just don't. So what are some of the other early obvious problems? Well, the pronunciations of the names I could just on about for days now. I could really hung on that problem for a while. See, to get it, because it's Aang, not Ang. Anyways, I thought that was funny. So, the names of the characters are certainly not pronounced right, and probably could be used in about a gajillion bad puns. And yeah, the races are for some reason swaps. You would think that the heroes would have the more Inuit design, but no, it's our villains that do. Alright, well, again, change is needed. This is an adaptation after all. So what else is there that really, really should have been kind of talked about? Right. The earthbending. Of course. How could I forget the earthbending? Well, again, even this could probably be covered up. It's difficult to fight in favor of this, because, again, it's stupid. But, I mean, what was this movie? It was 2008. CGI was just on the brink, I think. Well, to be fair, it's not like animation has had its improvement like it has been recently. I mean, these days, we could literally CGI an entire dead character for the sake of a prequel, thanks to Star Wars, so can't see why not? I mean, true, I guess. I mean, yeah, though, that's a bummer. I mean, either way, I don't think the CGI is really that big of a deal, despite the fact that it is. Again, Shyamalan was facing an uphill battle. I mean, this is one thing very few people want to talk about. I mean, he had a huge uphill battle. I mean, he had to cram what is essentially one entire season of Avatar, which is so perfect that you take out one episode, just one episode, and it already feels like you're missing a huge chunk of things, whether it be Sokka's girlfriend, the Kyoshi warrior, or whether it be Aang learning to waterbend, or whether it be Aang's, early realization of why you don't learn the elements out of order, to how Zuko and Aang are connected as characters in even the smallest of ways. You learn that all of this matters. All of this is important. And without one of these elements, you feel like you've missed an entire portion of the series. Let me put it into general perspectives, right? This should have been a trilogy of trilogy case. 3 films needing 3 films to cover each thing is essentially what I'm getting at here. 9 films. 9 films should have been done on the series. And here's why I say 9. Because if M. Night Shyamalan was trying to go for 3 films to cover the water bending, the earth bending, and the fire bending of Aang, that's about 2 hours. So that is, in basic theory, right? You take 4 episodes of Avatar, cram them into one movie. 2 hours, 30 minutes per episode. And then, if you really want to condense it, you would have to take the first episode and the final episode for the first and the last episodes of each movie. So essentially, you would have to take the 2 more important middle episodes and fit them in order. Now look at it from the way I proposed. 3 movies to cover 1 book, or 3 movies to cover 1 series. Now, what you have to work with is, instead of 2 hours, you have 6 hours. And over the course of 6 hours, you might be able to fit 12 episodes. 30 minutes, one would be 4, 8, 12. That's 12. It's 12 hours. And it's a lot more manageable, giving you a lot more time to visually show things. Maybe not tell us, but show us. And that would make everything make more sense. Now, of course, I could go into an entire rant of how I would do the Last Airbender movie by myself and the sort of key elements you would need to nail. But to be honest, do I? I mean, everybody knows what's wrong with the films. But let's look at some positives. I mean, there were positives. Don't get me wrong. There were positives. They're hard to find, But they exist. Here, up here in the right-hand corner, I hope. Somewhere's up here. I can't remember. Anyways, up in the corner, you'll see an eye. That eye icon will lead you to a playlist. An interesting playlist that I created a while back. Back when the J Critic was around, talking about, or preparing to review this film, this live-action abomination, if you will, of Avatar, The Last Airbender. And wouldn't you know it, it was interesting. It was a few videos talking about the behind-the-scenes, the life of these characters, the real-life actors who would have to go through the makeup and all that stuff. And when you look at the little details as they're presented there, the costumes are really interesting. Like, okay, calm down, time out here. Give credit where credit's due. Those outfits are cool. Like, really cool. Like, holy shoot, they actually explain things that you wouldn't think to explain. Like, why Aang has, like, that arrow on his head. Instead of it being just a random arrow, you had some airbendery designs on it. You give it a purpose. Give it a purpose. And the outfits are almost second to none, looking like how the characters look in the show. Now, of course, Zuko's makeup has been noted as being just like a sunburn here. I'm a sunburn man. Sunburn. When, of course, we know it was a great burn caused by his father, the Fire Lord Ozai, when he disobeyed orders. And yeah, it should have been better. But, I mean, again, let's say that Shyamalan has never watched the series, right? And we'll give him credit. Let's say he hasn't seen the series. He is given this script. Hey, Shyamalan, we want you to make Avatar: The Last Airbender. And he just decides, okay, based upon the script, to go make the series, right? Let's say he's done zero research whatsoever. The production team clearly did. As we note, the arrow actually now has a point. I mean, yeah, it's shot. It's so M. Night Shyamalan, it's kind of funny. But, at the end of the day, is this movie all that bad? Well, yes, of course it is. But, I intrigue you to go back, rewatch it, look for the little details. Because despite the fact that the film is mostly horrible and, we're still hung up about the name pronunciations, there is a good film within there. I'm telling you. You just gotta look and see to find a world of pure imagination. And who knows, perhaps at some point or another, maybe somebody will relook at the series and go, you know what? We can do something with this. And they will make a perfect film. Again, not everything is going to be in there because it's an adaptation and you need to make changes, and that's fine. But maybe there were too many changes made. Or not enough. Who knows? There are a lot of things to think about. Do you want to bang on representation, or do you want to change the formula a little bit? Obviously not the names, but I mean, if you want to change the formula completely, we could just go talk about Legend of Korra. Heyo! But for now, this is a movie review. My first movie review is just Jay Ward. And I hope you all enjoy it. And, for a little comments fun, if you have seen both Legend of Korra and The Last Airbender, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated one, of course, let me know in the comment section down below who you believe is the better Avatar. Is it Aang, or is it Korra? I'm Jay Ward, and we'll see you next time.